Dr. Dieter serves as a clinical associate professor of family medicine at Northeast Ohio Medical University and medical director of the Hospice of Western Reserve. He has been a hospice medical director since 1990 and joined the academy the following year. During his career, he has championed hospice and palliative care program development in 4 health systems, mentored hundreds of medical students and colleagues, and been steadfast advocacy in the core principles of the hospice philosophy of care. His hope is to incorporate that philosophy into the medical system and the nursing education system. Dr. Dieter has consistently embodied the attributes that this award represents, and his dedication has been long-standing and an inspiration to all. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Kevin Dieter as this year's recipient of the Josephina B. Magno Distinguished Hospice Physician Award.
Tammy, thank you, and good morning, everyone. So 30 years ago, I was a fledgling family practice doc, and she was one of my first patients. She was also a 93-year-old woman with end-stage CHF and COPD. She had lived a good life, but she was tired of suffering and was ready for death to come. She told me that she was going to stop her medications and asked me to keep her comfortable. And she was pretty determined to do that anyhow, no matter what I said. So long story short, very long story short, she stopped her medications and we admitted her to the hospital. Over the next 12 days before she died, she became my most profound teacher. She taught me about courage and dignity and grace at the end of life. She helped me realize that when you enter the room of a dying person, you're entering sacred space, that there's no room for an agenda, and that you need to be open for mystery. She made me learn how to use morphine and Ativan to ease and comfort, and she helped me understand that sometimes sitting with suffering is all that we can do, and sometimes it's exactly what is needed. A year later, I was asked to be a part-time medical director at the same hospital, and since that time, every single hospice patient has taught me something, and every single hospice aide and social worker, spiritual care provider, and the wise hospice nurses have continued to add to that education. Over the last 29 years, I know 2 things to be true. Number 1, the dying are our teachers. And number 2, one of the most powerful tools as physicians that we have is to show up at the bedside of the dying with our authentic self. And that oftentimes we are the medicine. As you go back home, I ask a few things of you. Number 1 is continue to push back to redefine the narrative of end-of-life care in this country. And secondly, teach, teach, teach. Teach everyone and everywhere that you can about what you have had the privilege to learn on your journey. I am grateful to AAHPM for existing, but also for the way that they represent our specialty. I'm particularly grateful for the awards committee for this honor. You have no idea what this means. Many thanks to many people, but a short list to Fran Stentz, to my first hospice team at Altman Hospital, to Lou Marchand, to Skip Rodwani, Sarah Freebert, Barb Palmisano, Margie Sanders, my teaching colleagues at Neomed, for the folks at Hospice of Western Reserve, and most importantly to my wife Jenny. She's been with me all along the way, and she's the one that was always there to tell me the 4 words that matter most when I needed them and maybe didn't really deserve them. And those words are, I believe in you. So thank you all, and I am very, very grateful.